Hey, this is Gerry Katzman. Welcome to the world premiere of My Dog Skip here at Hollywood.com. I just wanted to know what your favorite part about working on this movie was.
Well, you know, I do movies sometimes on a really large scale and sometimes on a really small scale, and they both have their individual appeals. I mean, this was a really an interesting part, probably an older, more kind of straight-laced part than I'd played ever, and it was just an interesting character. I mean, a character that, you know, held some sort of subtleties that I wanted to investigate, and the director's an old friend of mine, and it was great to go down to Mississippi and get a taste of that, you know, culture down there, so I enjoyed it.
Do you have books that you like to read to your kids when you were...
Oh yeah, reading is a very important part of our nightly ritual. Right now I'm reading them The Hobbit,
Wow.
which is interesting because when I was a kid I read it and I really liked it. My wife didn't read it as a kid, and she can't stand it. She doesn't get it at all. She just finds it totally confusing, and I think it's really cool. So, you know, she reads there's other books that she fell in love with when she was a kid that she reads to them, and I don't get them really at all. So we're having a good time with The Hobbit.
This is kind of a weird question, but when you were younger, like the stories about an introverted kid, a boy,
Right.
were you, I bet everyone's imagining like you were like totally the coolest kid when you were growing up as a youngster, but were you introverted at all, or
No.
were you were just pretty much...
No, I was a big show-off. Big, hammy show-off, trying to be as cool as I possibly could.
Right on. What, go ahead.
No, that's it.
And for you, like, you play a parent, and does a parent's love differ, like, when you're playing a parent and you are a parent, and, like, what is parental love to you, you know, and how does it differ from...
Parental love is the love that makes you throw yourself in front of a car, you know, and rather than... I mean, it's the first time that you really, in your life, find yourself in a position where you would very, very easily and happily give up your life for somebody else. That's what it's about.
Willie Morris died right before this came out. Any thoughts about, like, how it feels to bring his work?
Well, it was interesting. I was flashing back on us in this street in this small town in Mississippi, shooting in this house. It was probably not that different from the house that Willie grew up in, and seeing him sit on the street and watch the filming. I mean, it must have been a really amazing thing to kind of see your life up there becoming a picture, you know. It must be pretty interesting. So he'll be missed.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thanks, bye.
There is challenges, that's for sure, but we made sure that everything was done right, which means that the dogs were kept in air conditioning and only coming out when needed. And we of course had a stuffed dog that replaced him and did all the rehearsals and stuff like that. And the directors and everybody was really understanding about how to go about it, and we did find this is a dog that has so much energy that for him it was not a problem, you know, it was just like cruising through the whole thing. So we made it.
Wow.
I mean, I felt like it's a good small role, and I really liked working with Frankie a lot. And I mean, I think the key to playing something like this is, you know, just kind of maybe thinking about the time that it takes place and it being like the early 1940s. I figure it's got to be so much different, you know, the way people act and carry themselves. So, you know, I think about something like that and hope it helps me through.
If you were right now in the 1940s, what would be different about the way you, like, how would you carry yourself then? If you were...
probably have a suit on or something, and my eyes probably wouldn't be bloodshot, or no, probably they would, you know. God, I just, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you, when you play like the captain of football, you know, like the hero of the town, when you were a younger kid, and there's a withdrawn little kid in this movie, were you more of the really popular type? Were you a little bit more withdrawn? How would you typify yourself?
Well, I had good friends, and you know, I didn't feel like you know, I was I'm thinking about those Columbine kids when you ask that question,
yeah.
but no, I don't know. I feel like I had good friends and stuff like that, and but you know, I think every kid probably feels you know, a little lonely or left out at certain times. So, I don't know.
What projects do you have coming up that you're most excited about?
This movie called Committed with Heather Graham coming out. I think it's going to be a real good movie. She's great in it, and That's going to premiere at Sundance, and then Third Wheel, this movie with Denise Richards that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck produced. So that should be a good one. I was glad to work with those guys. I like them a lot.
Was it? I mean, was it kind of amazing? You're this independent film star, and now like you're with the hottest actors and people out there. I mean, like, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, well, I mean, those working with those guys is great because I don't feel like there are a lot of people, you know, my own age that I would look up to. But you know, what those guys have done already and how good Good Will Hunting was. You know, that makes me really happy and excited. And, but you know, I mean, it's just as cool to work with somebody like Frankie, who's just, you know, it's amazing that a kid that young's so good at what he does. And so I feel lucky. I've been having a lot of fun. I like my job.
You were a child actress, and you worked with Laurence Olivier.
Yes.
What would be your advice to other child actors who are out there like Frankie and
to listen to your inner voice if you feel that something is a character you really want to bring to life. That's important, to listen to your own inner voice, even when you're under 18! Sorry, we're on Hollywood Boulevard.
And do you have favorite books that you like to read to your kids?
Oh God, I don't want to plug any.
Oh no.
You know, it's like, yes, and they're making a movie out of all of them. Yeah, absolutely. I love to read every night.
You play a lot of characters like Rumblefish and I mean Charlie Chaplin. What do you enjoy a lot playing characters from another time period? And what's the key to doing that?
Great. Well, it's interesting for a woman. It's different because the farther back in time you go, the more you sort of eliminate options from your lifestyle choices and freedoms. But I don't know. This film, I play a Southern woman again, and you know, Mississippi added a lot. The fact that we really did get to shoot it where it went on helped us a lot.
Good. Willie Morris died.
I know. I got to play his mom. He'd come up to me on the set, and it was confusing in a very good way.
Thank you.
We're going to do more photos. Okay.
Bye, guys.
All right.